Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time.
The SCP multiverse is under constant assault, and destruction can come at any moment. Therefore, having just one database is a folly the Foundation can no longer accept. Join Dr. Kevin Milgram and SCP-073, Kane, as they create an oral history of the SCP Foundation, in Memories of Kane, an SCP story, hosted by Daniel Doremus. For should the Foundation fall, the unkillable first murderer of man will live on. New episodes drop every second Wednesday of the month on the Fearscape Media Network. Visit fearscapemedia.com for more information.
Something dark is here, flying in the skies, lurking in the woodlands, swimming in the rivers, and hiding under your bed. Join me, Mark L. Watson, and Fearscape Media as we delve into the paranormal, the occult, the spiritual, and the esoteric, and peer beyond the veil. Find us everywhere you get your podcasts or search for more information at fearscapemedia.com.
Coming to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown. Your ghoulish hosts for an evening of terror. Stefan Gearhart and Lance Wayne, the Misters of the Dark.
Oh, hey, good evening, dear friends, and happy holidays! Hoes, hoes, hoes! Welcome to a very special Yuletide edition of Misters of the Dark. As always, we are beaming directly to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown, and I'm your head mister, Lord Santa Stefan Gearhart.
I'm your mister, the man with no name, Lance Wayne.
Oh, good lord. Ugh. You'll have to excuse Lance, while I and the rest of the populace of this world are using our time to reflect, rejoice, and celebrate our fellow man. He's too busy sulking and brooding and complaining about how the Christmas tree lights hurts his eyes. Ooh.
My eyes are sensitive! Stevie friggin' Wonder would walk away with a migraine after having to stand within 10 feet of that illuminated abomination.
Calm down! Calm down, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have to spread enough holiday cheer for the both of us because you're a little stupid Grinch.
While you're doing that, I'm going down to the village. I have a feeling some of those boneheads need to find out if they were naughty or nice.
Fine. Very well. You go off and slaughter however many poor, unfortunate souls you may need to get out of your little holiday funk. But I guess you're going to miss seeing the Mr. Sister, Tricia.
Trish is coming here?
Oh, guess I forgot to mention that, yeah. She's coming over to discuss the immortal holiday classic, Christmas Evil.
Trish the Dish is coming here.
Yeah, I thought it would be nice for her to join us for this Christmas. With her grieving over the loss of her 31st husband and all, and you know, isn't it weird that they always kick the bucket in the most mysterious circumstances? It's just so...
Stefan! Where the hell's the eggnog? More lights for the tree! How's my guy later?
Lance, don't you think it's a little sick that you have this weird infatuation with Tricia, with us being brothers and all, even though she's just my sister? She's kind of your sister, too.
We're only a quarter brothers.
That doesn't even make any sense.
There's no time for this, Stefan. You haven't even put an angel atop of the tree yet.
Oh, me and Tricia already have that figured out.
You haven't said that.
Ah, that must be her now. The head Mr. Sister, Tricia Murphy. Yay! Thanks for coming over to the house, Tricia.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Hey,
Hi.
shut up,
Hi,
Lance.
Lance.
Oh my God, you guys are so gross. So we've got Tricia here, which we're super excited about. Since we started our show, we haven't had the Mr. Sister on yet. And so we thought, since it is Christmas and everything, we wanted you to come by and talk about our favorite movie from when we were kids, Christmas Evil, 1980. Like, this came out in 1980. Like, that's how, Lance, you weren't even born yet.
No, I was a sperm with no name.
Oh.
Sparkle in the eye.
Yeah, I was like a twinkle
No,
with
That's
no
twinkle
name.
with no name. Yeah. I'm still
but
in my
yeah.
daddy's ball sack.
Ew,
Yeah.
so gross. That's why, whatever. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about Christmas Evil. I'm super pumped about this. We were able to watch this on Shudder. So it was super cool. So if anybody wants to go ahead and watch the film before you listen, you can check it out on.
Yeah, but
Shudder.
spoiler warning.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We're gonna be talking all about it. One thing that's really interesting about this film is that there's a cast of people that we've seen in other things before, and I was very shocked by
Really?
that.
Because I didn't recognize anybody.
Oh, you
brother.
did, and you didn't even realize it. We'll talk about it, but yeah, the brother in that. But Christmas Evil was originally titled "You Better Watch Out."
Well, it says here during production the film had the working title just Santa.
Yeah, and then it has also been known as Terror in Toyland. It is a 1980 American psychological slasher film written and directed by Lewis Jackson and starring Brandon Maggart. Now, the cool thing about Brandon Maggart is he has a very famous daughter. Did you know this?
No. Who is it?
His daughter is Fiona Apple.
No.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
No
Yes,
idea.
his daughter is Fiona Apple, and now, like, after looking at pictures of Fiona Apple, I can totally see her dad in, like, I can see his face in her. So
You think you think
yeah.
she'd live, be a little happier knowing her dad was in such a great film.
I know. Well, he was in a number of films. He was in a really great film that a lot of people don't know about, had Robin Williams in it, called The World According to Garp. He was in that. That's a great film. He was in quite a bit of stuff. He has a ton of kids that are in the industry as well. He's got a son, Spencer Maggart, is a writer and director. Garrett Maggart is a TV and movie actor. Amber.
What about Christopher Maggart?
I know. I want to ask. I think you might slightly be related, but he's also got Fiona Apple, like I said. But his other daughter is also a singer. Her name is Maud Maggart, but she does kind of cabaret jazz stuff. And I've been listening to her stuff. It's really good too. And so her and Fiona have done some things together where they've worked together, as well as Spencer.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they battle one another.
Well, they should. But Spencer's directed, I believe, 2 of Fiona's of her music videos as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's super cool. Anyways, now that I've spent 3 hours talking about that, the plot, the quick plot here says that the plot follows a deranged man obsessed with Santa Claus who eventually goes on a murderous rampage dressed in a Santa Claus suit. Now, this sounds very similar to Silent Night.
Yeah, but it predates
Bloody Night. Yeah, I believe.
Silent Night, Bloody Night. It was 84 because it came out the same year as Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that's right. Silent. I'm gonna check real quick though. Silent Night, Bloody Night. Oops, I forget. There's 2. So sorry, Silent Night, Deadly Night, not Bloody Night.
Silent Night. Yeah.
I get them mixed up, but yeah, 1984, which is the quintessential evil Santa movie. That's what people think of, but a lot of that had to do with the publicity that surrounded that, the protests and stuff like that.
Well, and
Christmas Evil did not get hit as hard.
Silent Night, Deadly Night's way more over the top.
Oh,
It's sort of what
really?
you see is what. Well, yeah, but I mean,
did you watch this movie?
This movie's crazy.
Have you seen Silent Night, Deadly Night, Tricia?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if I haven't watched it.
We need to watch that too then. But yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night. They are both insane. Very similar plot.
See, I think this is a little more subtle, to be completely honest with you.
Well, here's what I will say. It starts subtle. The first half of the movie is subtle as hell.
And then it gets crazy.
And then it just loses its mind, literally.
Down to crazy town.
It says
I mean, when the first, I mean, when I was watching it, I was kind of, because this is kind of a slow burn a little bit.
For sure. Definitely a slow burn.
And
she was like,
it was scary.
She was like, Lord Stefan, can we rewind that? Because I missed that. Did that just happen?
Anyway, what was I even talking about? But when the first kill happened, I'm sorry if you can hear some of the children of the night yelling in the background over here.
Do not.
No.
But okay, good. But when the first kill happened, it's been a while since a movie's made me like say something out loud, but when it happened, I did go, "Oh shit." Because, like I said, it was just like this dude he was unhinged, but he wasn't homicidal. But I mean, when that happened, I was just, it took me back.
Yeah,
so
because
for that,
I
applaud it.
And we'll get into that when we really get into the movie. But yeah, it's like they set it up for him to automatically be crazy, but then you're like, oh no, he's just kind of a regular dude, and then you're like, oh no, he's not.
No, I think he had a psychotic break.
Yeah, he had a psychotic
break. What happened? He was already unhinged, and then that psychotic break hit.
But it looks like
I'm just waiting on mine.
It looks like this was released in from Pan American Pictures, November 7th, 1980, with select audiences in Pittsburgh, and then it went national. Randomly Pittsburgh. But one of the cool things is that since it's released, it's gained a cult following, including praise and repeated viewings by director John Waters. John Waters has called this the best Christmas movie of all time.
Of course he has.
Of course he has.
I wouldn't expect anything less from John Waters.
Between him and Quentin Tarantino, you're like, which one do you guys like? Because
yeah.
And so here's this thing again, because this is what I was talking about that kind of happened to Silent Night, Deadly Night. It says, while not prosecuted for obscenity, though Silent Night, Deadly Night did, the film was seized and confiscated in the United Kingdom under Section 3 of the Obscene Publications Act of 1959 during the video nasty panic.
It had to suck to live in Europe around that area, because they went after. I mean, I've researched a lot of stuff with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That movie didn't legally come out until like the late 90s, I think, because it was on that Video Nasties or whatever.
Yeah, I love that documentary, the Video Nasties. But we talked about the main character. Well, one of the other main characters is his brother, played by Jeffrey DeMunn. Now, this is where I'll say you'll recognize him, because Jeffrey DeMunn was in he was the sheriff in the Blob remake. He was Harry in The Green Mile. He played Dale in The Walking Dead in the first 2 to 3 seasons of The Walking Dead. He's in the X-Files film. He's in a ton of stuff. I mean, he's all over the place. He was in The Majestic. He was in The Mist. He's been on TV. If you've ever seen Stephen King's Storm of the Century, which I highly recommend, is a great little mini series, he's in that. He's all over the place. And I immediately was like, Tricia, who is this guy? He looks so familiar. And then we looked him up and we were like, oh my God, it's Dale from The Walking Dead.
It's funny you mentioned the brother, because for some reason, when I saw him, I could have swore he was the dude from not Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, the one that Billy's friends with. What is his name?
The old guy?
Yeah, that he's friends with.
I don't know. I only watch horror movies. So.
I'm looking it up.
But yeah, so while Tricia's looking that up, we're going to talk about this movie. So the movie opens in somewhere in like suburbia, New Jersey, Christmas Eve, 1947. No one was alive then.
Yeah.
And
Before
we see
COVID.
a young boy named Harry Stadling sees his mother being sexually groped by his father. Now, it's not just Harry. His brother also sees it. But his brother was a little bit younger, Phil.
See, this is where I got lost, and this is where I kind of have my own theory as regard to the film, and I'll get more into it as we go along. But okay, they show the dude, they show Santa coming down from the chimney and then going back up.
Right.
So
Right.
I had to watch this movie twice. I'll be honest with you, but I thought it was like supposed to be legit Santa.
That's what you thought at first?
Well,
No,
I
I mean
thought
that
that
I still think that. I don't think I think he was legit Santa.
No, I assumed it was his dad.
Yeah,
That's-
because she was getting her leg groped by him, and she was comfortable
Yeah.
with it.
So first of all, you got Santa coming, brings all the toys and all this stuff, and then they go to bed, but they decide to come back down the stairs, and he sees like the most awkward ass scene. Like I was like, is he like going down on her, or is he just close?
yeah.
Is he just close and rubbing her leg? Because it was really kind of not. But regardless, Santa was like sexing up the mama. Like he was doing more than kissing Santa under the Christmas tree. He was giving him the Spock maneuver.
Yeah, sexy Spock time. But also something I found strange was like they didn't leave them milk and cookies. They've left them milk and like bread.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Do you remember that?
I wasn't
Do you
paying
remember-
attention to
No,
it. Maybe
I
it was
was
like a
in
sweet
such
bread or
shock.
a croissant or
It was like white bread, and he smeared something on it.
Oh
could have been
my
like
God.
jelly. I mean, it could have been jam.
I
or
just
butter.
thought that was so. That's what that completely took me out of the picture.
Well, the reason why the kid came downstairs is because his brother told him it was his dad, and the brother and Harry didn't believe it.
Oh, that's right.
See,
Phil.
That's why
and
he
thi-
came
this-
down there, and then he seen him groping her, and it just fucked him all up.
This is where I think, because I think the kid went down there expecting to see his father, only to see his mother getting fellatio from Santa.
No.
This is like the dark version
And
of
it's
I
not
saw mommy
fellatio, it's
kissing Santa Claus.
Cunnilingus.
Mm-mm.
This is what happened to the kid who saw mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Yeah, except for Santa was kissing on mommy's hoo-hoo is what
You
was
get
happening.
the hoo-hoo.
Just shocked it was his dad.
Well,
and
it
it
w-
just took him down a path of
Yeah, it was
evil.
already
I-
implied that Harry was obsessed with Christmas. Like he was a massive Christmas freak. And so this freaked him out and he becomes heartbroken. So he runs upstairs, goes to the attic,
Ugh.
and then like shatters his favorite Christmas snow globe and then cuts his hand on
Oh my
it.
God.
And I guess there's the blood ritual.
My mouth dropped when I seen that. I mean, this kid's like 8.
Yeah.
Cutting his hand, maybe 6. I don't even know.
Oh,
Yeah, it was so weird that he
It was like
cut
a
his own
suicide
hand.
attempt.
Like
I didn't. I don't know. I didn't find it strange.
there's
It
some
shows
weird
you-
illusions in this
how
that you
fucked
think
up
were
I am.
things like that would set up stuff for later, but it didn't.
No.
So
Yeah. Well, no, it did because
Well, yeah.
I'll let it. I'll bring it back
yeah, I guess so.
because
It did.
yeah. But
Well,
anyway,
regardless,
he wakes up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
33 years later, he's an adult.
Yeah.
And he now works in a low-level position, but still a higher position than the lowest levels
Right.
at the Jolly Dreams toy factory
Yeah.
that makes the cheapest ass toys I've ever seen in my life. They're
That
just
is the oddest toy soldier I've ever seen.
Oh my
but
God,
Good
not
Lord.
holding a gun, holding a lightning,
bolt. And then not only that, it was like one single color. Like they didn't even bother like painting. It was like, let's get the plastic mold and that's it. Like it's
Yeah.
just blue and red soldiers. The little cheap ass plastic ray guns. There was the little motorcycle guy. Like, but
Yeah.
they were all just
Said,
single
like,
colors.
It was that was kind of messed up too, because on the back of it, it's like suicide something.
Yeah.
The name of the like biker or whatever.
Suicide Steve.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, I mean, it's like there's better toys at the dollar store now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just like the thing,
In
you
the
know,
40s.
or whatever. I mean,
Everybody
remember
was
they only
broke.
had a They only had a budget of 850,000, so
Yeah, we can't waste it on a bunch of fucking toys.
Well, it was post the war as well.
well, I mean, this
World
is
War II.
1980 at this point.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
1980.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
So,
But he's right. My bad.
You think we're
My
still
bad.
back in the 40s?
I know. I was like, wait, it's the 40s.
But needless to say, all of his colleagues there think he's a schmuck. They all call him a schmuck.
Yeah.
They make fun of him all the time, even though he's like a manager
Yeah.
or a lead or something at that
I think
point.
he's a supervisor.
Yeah, supervisor. That's probably a
He
good.
just got a promotion.
Yeah, he just got a promotion as a
Yeah.
supervisor, and he's kind of crusty.
But he misses being on the
He
assembly
misses
line.
like being with the toys and everything like
Yeah.
that. And this is where I'm saying, I'm like, obviously he's, smart enough to make a supervisor because he's got to do a lot of math and a lot of work and
Yeah.
things like that. But at home, he's taken it upon himself to become the next true Santa Claus. So he's
Yeah.
in a Santa costume. His apartment is resplendent with Christmas decor. He spied now let's get in and talk about the creepiness of him
Yeah.
spying on neighborhood children to see if they're being good or bad. And then he has these giant books that say the good list and the naughty list.
And if you look closely, you can tell he's been doing this for a while
Yeah.
because there's like a 79 and a
Each
78.
book says what year.
Yeah.
And it's so creepy because like, who is it? Is it Susie? Susie?
Mhm.
Like, I kept waiting for
obsessed.
Susie. He's obsessed with Susie. Susie was like the perfect child. This little
Yeah.
blonde-haired girl. She couldn't have been more than 6 or 7.
First to her as Little Darling, I think.
Yeah, Little
Absolute
Darling
or
Susie.
something- or
And so I
something
kept
like that.
waiting for kind of like Susie to be a part of this movie, like a lot
Yeah.
more. She does not come back into this movie. I was kind of, I don't know.
I was
just
lost there because they spent so much time on her.
like, he even had
Oh.
a damn picture of her in
Yeah,
his workshop.
He went
Ma-
to, like everyone's house, which I know I'm giving some stuff away, but they left out Susie.
Moss Garcia, he comes back around.
Oh yeah, Moss Garcia.
Oh man, that kid. Oh, but I lost
Moss
it
has
whenever.
poor hygiene.
yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, Moss.
yeah. Well,
Moss has
I thought
Poor hygiene. The
Poor
kid's
hygiene.
when he spots Moss Garcia in his bedroom with that penthouse with Blondie on the cover.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
I lost
funny.
it.
So
I
funny. Yeah,
lost
so you
it.
got Susie and Moss as like the opposite ends of the spectrum there, because
Yeah.
Moss is the worst kid. He's got bad hygiene. He don't brush his teeth. He's got impure thoughts. He's just a bad kid.
Didn't he yell to him like, "I want porn for Christmas"?
Yeah, well, yeah. At
Yeah.
one point,
That was
they
odd.
are. Yeah,
Couldn't
at one
imagine
point,
doing that.
So
he's
Yeah,
walking
that
down
shows-
the. Yeah, at one point he's walking down the street and the kids are sitting on the steps over there and they're like, "Hey, Mr. Nadling or whatever the hell his name is, Stadling." He's like, "Oh, hey," and he's like, "Are you kids being good for Christmas? What does everybody want this year?" And the kid goes, "I want a subscription to
to
Hustler."
it's a penthouse.
Or the
Yeah.
Penthouse.
I lost it, man. I was like, oh, dude.
I was like, Moss is my kind of kid, man.
Yeah, but that shows you that he does have some sort of. They don't delve into it that much, but he does have some sort of rapport with the town kids or whatever.
Yeah, he
Yes.
seems to be a good
Yeah.
guy.
They
Like,
seem to
nobody's
like him.
creeped out by him or anything like that. Even his coworkers don't call him creepy. They just think he's a loser. They just think he's
Yeah.
a schmuck. So what we get to then is Harry's coworker. This is Frank. This is another guy that is somebody that I've seen in other movies before. The guy that plays Frank here. Frank asks Harry to cover a shift on the assembly line in order to be with his family for Thanksgiving. So this is Thanksgiving weekend
Yeah,
where this kind of opens and
takes a bite of his sandwich. This guy's a real
yeah,
piece of
this
shit.
guy's
Yeah.
real weird. Yeah, grabs Harry's sandwich and just eats it and just is like, "Hey, I need, nobody's able to take my shift. It's Thanksgiving. I really want to spend time with my family." And he finally convinces Harry to do it, even though Harry's a supervisor. He's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I guess I'll do it." And this is second shift. So this is like the next shift. So he
Yeah.
would have to work his shift plus do Harry's shift,
Yeah,
or I mean, do Frank's shift after.
Which is a harder job because he's on the line.
Yeah. But he
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I miss being on the line. So yeah, I guess I'll do
Yeah.
it."
well, and that shows you the extent of how much this guy gets fucking dicked around.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like you said, he's technically this dude's supervisor,
Right.
but the guy just, can
Oh
say,
yeah,
hey,
well, especially
I'm
because
not
it's a
gonna
new
work with
position, like, they're totally
Taking
fucking with him.
advantage.
But on his way home from working that second shift for Frank, Harry sees Frank drinking with buddies at a local bar. In fact, Frank even calls him, "What a schmuck. We're not even actually leaving until tomorrow." So he didn't even need to take the night off. He's gloating to his friends at the bar about how he tricked that schmuck Harry into taking his shift.
That was good timing, wasn't it? He just so happened to put his face in the window or whatever.
Yeah, so I think
Yep.
this is like the decline for him, where he starts really.
Yeah,
getting
this is where he
upset.
starts. Yeah, he starts snapping a little bit because when he gets home, he goes over to one of his little dollhouses that he has in his house, which is already weird. Grabs one of the figurines and is humming a Christmas tune and like squeezes this thing to death, like he's choking it to death until it
Yes.
breaks into like 2 or 3 pieces. So we're pretty sure he's pretending that that's Frank. there.
Yeah.
So the following day, he's supposed to go to dinner at his little brother's house, Phil, with his family. I guess he does that every year. Phil and his wife have 2 kids, and but Phil, you can tell, is not a big fan of Harry. He's constantly angered by his brother's weird behavior.
This is I thought this was a really interesting dynamic, having the little brother be sort of the
older brother. Well, that's how Tricia and I are. She's younger than me, but she's more like the older sister.
Yeah, I'll beat some ass.
Okay.
Anyway.
But the only other movie I've seen the dynamic like that is Step Brothers.
Yeah.
So
I also think it's kind of a look into how people in the 80s looked at mental illness as well. He was looked down upon instead of trying to help, which is still like that today.
Yeah, I mean, because they didn't really call it mental illness unless you were super gone out of your gourd, and so he was obviously depressed and had some trauma from that Christmas experience, and it made him kind of odd and, not have real coping mechanisms, and so decorated his apartment full of Christmas stuff and dollhouses and little Susie's picture. So
peeked in on people's families.
Right, and then so then he goes and peeks in on his brother and his sister at at Thanksgiving.
So
and has the kid, like, you see the kids, like, they're all playing and they're being a happy family. The kids go upstairs, and then he watches his brother and his wife totally do it on the couch while his kids literally just walked upstairs. Like, they're just on the couch pounding silver, man.
Yeah, I see. I saw that. I mean, it is creepy.
Yeah.
But I also, being a depressed loner myself, I saw it as a
Memory.
He's that I mean, it was just like the greatest or the ultimate depiction of someone truly being on the outside, looking at something you will never have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I sort of took away
I guess
from
I
it.
saw the fan. I guess it
it's
me out that
pervy.
he was watching.
Well,
his
once
brother.
he
Now the family interaction stuff I totally saw, but I think this also got him to judge his brother as well. I think
really.
I think at this point he's judged his brother, that he sent the kids upstairs so that he could have sex.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's not putting as much tension on the kids for the holidays. He's worried about himself.
Yeah.
Doing something immoral.
Yep. And so we skip a couple weeks. We don't know exactly when, but there's a couple weeks, and the company Christmas party, the Jolly Dreams toy shop Christmas party happens.
I think it's Christmas Eve.
No, not yet. But it's probably really close. Probably like the day before Christmas Eve or whatever. But the owner of Jolly Dreams is there. We meet Mr. Wiseman, who he had talked to on the phone a couple times and things like that. But he announces that the company's going to donate toys to the children of a local hospital, provided production increases sufficiently, and that the employees will need to contribute their own money. And Mr. Fletcher, who's one of the big executives there, introduces Harry to the new training executive, George Grosh, who devised the donation scheme. So at this point, Harry's already figured out that this was all a scheme, to make it so that they didn't have to spend money, that the employees would spend the money, and they would ramp up production. So Harry's super pissed at both of these guys for not caring about children. So that night,
was this like a real practice back in the 80s? Like to do this sort of donations?
Yeah. A lot of companies will do big donation stuff, whether it's Toys for Tots or they'll.
Well, no, I mean, but this is really like a scam. This whole setup.
Yeah, I don't know if this particular thing was something that happened quite a bit. But yeah, that's the whole point, is that Harry's seeing it as a scam, and that really pisses him off. So that night he goes and steals a ton of toys from the factory, and then like goes out to a weird place and fills like bags with dirt.
Yeah,
we didn't know what was going on at first.
Yeah, same here. I thought like.
Yeah, because I would have thought like coal,
Yeah. Or was he digging graves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do with that dirt?
Yeah, we didn't know at first. But regardless, so we get then the next night is Christmas Eve, and then legit this dude like goes hardcore making his own Santa suit. Like,
yeah.
Good God. I mean, this dude is talented. This is an amazing Santa suit. And he didn't even bother with like a beard that hangs over the ears. No, he used some spirit gum and glued this sucker on and had the most amazing Santa mustache I've ever seen in my life. Dude looked like the dude from Crosby, Stills and Nash, David Crosby, with the big old mustache.
Well, and I mean, I thought that was a really good scene too, where he puts on the beard and he's just freaking out in front of the mirror, saying it's me.
Yeah, and I think that's when he kind of, I think that's when the 100% flip happens. He's like 100%.
That's how
he's gone.
That's how I react every time I put on a Gene Simmons face paint.
That's how I react every time I put on Lance Wayne, the Man with No Name face paint.
What the hell? I say something, and then you just say something that goes this way.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how many death masks I've made of you?
Oh, Jesus. Moving on.
All right.
Moving on. So he gets into this crazy state to the point where he's convinced himself that he's actually Santa Claus.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also paints his creeper van, makes it like a sleigh. He paints a big reindeer sleigh on that.
Yes.
So like, I guess, but it's the 80s. Everybody had a van. It wasn't a creeper thing yet,
Normal.
but with Susie and everything like that, I'm like, man, this man's got a creeper van. We need to call him Chester.
Yeah.
I was so nervous for Susie.
Yeah.
With the creeper van.
Totally. He begins doing rounds.
I was more nervous for Moss, honestly.
Oh, I thought Moss was dead.
Because I think we've totally skipped that part where he goes to peek in on Moss.
No, that's right. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, this is where he's at right now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, no, never mind.
Because, he's driving around in this sleigh van, and he even believes that he's trained Santa's reindeers. He's like whipping like the steering wheel, like it's on Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, and Blitzen. And we were even joking, he even does the touch in the nose.
Oh, God.
In the mirror. Yeah. Yeah.
He does that. It's a classic Santa move. Which I loved. But so he goes around and he sneaks first into his brother's home to deliver toys for his nephews. But then he goes to Moss's house, and we're like, oh God, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And he's looking inside. Moss is
down.
being a little douchebag, and his mom's like kind of being a bitch. And you're kind of like, oh man, here comes the first murder.
Yeah.
And then he drops off this bag of dirt to the front door. Is this where he kisses the house? Is this the same place where he kisses the house?
Yeah, I did not get that. Was something.
I thought he was marking it or something.
Yeah, so he reaches into the mud, and I thought, this motherfucker's about to do blackface.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God. But no, that's not what he did.
No.
He presses his face and his hands against the house and kisses it, so that there's a picture of like his face with Kissy with a big open lips and hands on the house. And it's the weirdest shit, because you only ever see it that first time.
Well, I'm with Tricia. I think it was meant to sort of like make it look like he marks the house with the naughty children.
This is a naughty.
But the thing is, I understand being lost at the same time too, because this is the only house you see him doing it at. Like if you saw him do it like at other house, like one or two other houses, you'd say, "Oh," you would immediately pick up on it.
I guess it's implied that that's what he does, because it does. It shows him going around, like to other houses and stuff like that. There's, even the one, that was Frank's or another house. I won't talk about that yet. But yeah, so anyway, so he's walking around. We kind of finished the montage, and he gets out of his car, and he ends up outside of a Catholic church. And midnight mass is letting out.
Oh, you skipped him delivering the toys to the hospital.
No. Happens.
That happens before the church.
It does.
I don't remember. I was taking a J tonight. Saying.
Oh
I'm just saying it's what it was. It's what it was.
Okay. Well, regardless, he does at some point. I don't remember where it happens. But he goes to the hospital that they were supposed to go to, and delivers all these toys and
that he stole
and wrapped and everything. And he gets there, and they're like, the old man with the gun, the Barney Fife security guard was hilarious.
He's like 90.
You can't bring them.
Yeah.
You can't bring them in.
And this is
gonna do something.
Well, this is when I thought like shit was gonna go down. That this is when it was gonna turn into a horror film.
Yeah.
But
no, again, no.
I also see this a lot. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out there.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw a lot of Taxi Driver in this.
Yeah, absolutely, a lot of Taxi Driver.
It's a Christmas version of Taxi Driver.
But yeah, he gets there and he convinced the security guard to go check in with the doctor. And so the doctor comes out and the nurses, and they're like, okay, what the hell? And he says, no, I'm from Jolly Dreams. And so they cannot believe how many toys are there, that the whole staff comes out and gets these toys to deliver to these kids. And this is just a winning moment for Santa Harry here. Because this has solidified for him actually being Santa. Because he's getting to see kids receiving the presents. The staff is happy that Santa and they call him Santa at this point.
I think they're clapping for him.
Yeah, they're clapping for him, and he's just dancing and zinging away, and he just can't wait. But yeah, so this is where then he heads over to, because now he's in joyful, jolly, happy Santa mode.
Yeah.
And he's walking by midnight mass, and the people let out, and two of these guys start making fun of him. Now, to me, it looked like it was like Mr. Fletcher and George Grosh, but I'm not 100% all white people.
It was a couple of random
randos.
people.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just looked similar.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Until.
But yeah, so they're
one question though, before we go any further. Did you all attend midnight mass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you all? So what can you, as a Baptist, I guess, I don't know. But explain to me midnight mass.
It's just the last.
It's church at midnight, pretty much.
Yes, because it's the night that Jesus is born. So it's everything that happens right before he's born. They talk a lot about being in Bethlehem and all of that stuff. And it's to talk about Joseph and Mary because they got there late. They talk a lot about the star in the sky and all that jazz. So
that sounds awful.
And then you wake up the next morning and then you talk about the actual birth.
So you go home and then you have to go back to church the next day.
Yep.
What the hell? This sounds awful.
It was awful.
I loved it. I loved it because you would sing all the Christmas music.
I did like the songs, but God, it took forever.
Yep.
I would have been exhausted.
It looks like midnight mass was observed for the first time in the 4th century under Pope Sextus III in the Basilica of Saint Major. So this was the
Pope
year
Sextus.
430. Sixtus.
That sounds like Pope Sextus sounds like somebody that Gwar would kill on stage.
It does. That's hilarious. But anyway, so the whole crowd comes out there and these two guys are just making fun of him hardcore.
Yeah.
And you could tell at first he's just letting it slide, because he's in Santa mode and he's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm Santa. And all this stuff. But then he just gets so mad. In a fit of rage, he goes in and he grabs toys. Now, I want to go back because when he was stealing toys and getting his Santa suit together, he also had this smelting mold. Smelting metal, which was crazy.
I forgot about that.
And we were like, what is he making? And then he actually made one of the soldiers, but he made it out of metal and painted it like, those nerds totally do the little miniatures. But this was like a regular size one. And
it kind of reminded me of Iron Man.
Yeah, and he's got like a little sword and everything like that. This thing's got like a real metal sword.
Yeah.
And then he's created like a toy hatchet and all kinds of crazy stuff that you're like, he's probably going to use this somehow. Now, first I thought he was going to, when he got the two items from the van, I thought he was going to bash the guy over the head.
Me too.
But no, that's not what happens at all.
No.
He stabs this guy in the eyeball in the most 1980s quick 1 second special effects of an exploding eyeball.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was bloody.
Like I said, this is the moment like I said it, and this is why I enjoyed this film so much, because it's been a while since I've had one of these moments. But I was sitting here watching it entirely by myself, and out loud I go, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because it just
It
just happened.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for him to be like, you're naughty.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He just murdered silently.
Yeah.
And everyone's just watching this happen. I mean, the guy buckles over and either dies or just is laying there bleeding. And then another two people come out and he's got that tomahawk hatchet thing and just starts bam, bam, and kills 2 or 3 people.
And I'm like, they're just standing there waiting.
Yeah, they were just watching,
just waiting for him to come at them.
It was crazy, man.
So maybe they thought it was part of the festivities.
Yeah. So now he's he's driving. He gets into his van and peels off. Which, the cops are never going to be able to find that van. But he peels off, and then he's he just doesn't know what to do, and so he's got a bag of toys, which are specifically positioned to sit outside the bag and everything like that.
Yeah.
And he walks by, all forlorn, some community Christmas party. Now, when I was a kid, I remember these because I still grew up in the time where there were neighborhood bars and the VFWs were really big, and it was communities all got together, and you would be in a Polish community, a German community, or things like that. And this looked very much like a Polish community. They had a polka Christmas band going on, kids and people and stuff like that. But you got Harry walking by the neighborhood Christmas party, and of course he's peeking in as he does, and that somebody sees him, and so they're like, Santa, come in here, because they just think he's a Santa impersonator. They don't know that he just murdered 3 people.
Now, one of these dudes, I swear, I can almost promise this, one of these dudes that goes out and gets them is Ace Ventura's landlord in the first. I swear it has to be. I'm staking my life on it.
All right, well let's take a break here and look it up. All right, Christmas Evil. I don't even know what his name would be.
Why don't you look up Ace Ventura?
Nope.
Look up the landlord. It's like one of the.
I do what I want because I wanted to look up Frank real quick. Yeah, Frank was in a bunch of... Oh, he was in The Fisher King and Blue Steel, Muppets Take Manhattan. That's where I know him from. All right, so I want to see here because it should say... Let me pull up the full cast. There's Mr. Grosh, Tipsy Worker. We got to get to the party. Accordion player. Probably man... Oh, Mark Margolis. That's another person... that I recognized. Yes, and it was Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
I'm impressed.
Told you.
Yes,
wow.
I knew there was he was also in Scarface. And he was in Requiem for a Dream and Pie.
Yeah, he's been in a couple of things.
Snowpiercer. I mean, this dude's been in all kinds of stuff, man.
I know him mainly as that myself.
Yeah, he was in Gotham, 12 Monkeys. I've seen him in so much stuff. That was another one we were both like, yep, I know him too. But yeah, good call on the Ace Ventura
Yeah, I'm
one.
impressed.
That's Satan.
Satan, is that ye, Satan? But we also had later on the detective was Raymond Barry, who's another one that I knew from like Walk Hard and where did I just see him recently? Oh, he's in Gotham, but he's also if you've ever watched Justified, which takes place in Kentucky, he's Arlo. He's the main character's dad. He's great. But yeah, like I said, crazy cast of people that I couldn't believe that we kept noticing people. 1980, that's just the way it goes.
I thought one of the. I'm sorry, but I'm prolonging things here. But I also thought that one of the women that's like dancing with them or whatever. I thought it was. I could have swore it was Jessica Harper.
Jessica Harper. I don't know.
Only because it looked like Jessica Harper and she was a really bad dancer.
I don't know. I didn't see.
I don't think it was.
I didn't.
Jessica Harper had already been in Suspiria by then. And,
I was like, it would have showed her name.
Phantom of the Paradise.
But anyway, so he goes in and he's super nervous, like, because, I think at this point he's kind of like, oh, well, maybe I'm not Santa. I think he's questioning everything because he just murdered some people out of anger and stuff like that. So, but they bring him in and he ends up having a great time. Like, he ends up dancing and cheers everybody up. He hangs out with the kids while the parents are dancing and having a good time and drinking. He has a couple drinks himself. He's telling the kids that they've got to be good boys and good girls, or Santa's gonna fuck you up. Is essentially
pretty
what
much.
He said.
Yeah.
I wish I had the
Everybody
script.
stopped.
I wish I had the script in front of me to say what he said, but basically he was just like, "You are bad. You will not like what Santa's going to do," because he's moved from bags of dirt to murder. At this point.
Yeah. Well, and he says something. I don't know. I just felt this strange. But he says something along the lines of, listen to your teachers.
Oh, yeah. He was like, listen to your parents, listen to your teachers. You do whatever they tell you because they know better.
Yeah.
It was really crazy. But he ends up, like I said, having a good time. His dance was hilarious.
Yeah.
He did a full-on polka dance with the kids and just everything. Gives all the kids toys and everything like
no
that.
one dies.
But he's now been reinvigorated as evil Santa because he's like, fuck this shit. It's time to go get Frank's ass. So he goes over to sandwich stealing Frank's house, breaks into Frank's home, and murders.
Wait.
What?
You forgot that like 10 minutes. I don't even know why it stayed in the film. I feel like I should have edited that out. But you have like a 10 or 15-minute scene of him trying to go through the chimney.
Okay, so I didn't remember if that was here or Phil's house. I couldn't remember.
It's here.
So he finds a ladder, and he gets up this all the way up. Now, is Frank's neighborhood the one that had 400 light up statues? That went down the street.
No.
So that's his brother's neighborhood. Okay,
that's his brother's. Yeah.
But he gets a ladder and climbs up to the roof because this motherfucker's gonna go down the chimney and realizes he can't fit down it.
Yeah.
And he's super crusty about it. But both Tricia and I were like, look at the bottom of his boots. There is no tread. There is nothing. It is flat. If that was real snow, he'd have been dead. He'd have been dead because there was no traction on his shoes at all.
I was just waiting for him to slip.
Yeah, but like I said, I felt like this scene should have been edited out. Yeah, it really served no purpose.
It was weird. Well, I think it did. I think this goes into the forcing him to question whether or not he's Santa, because Santa would magically be able to go down that no matter what. In fact, his dad went down. So why couldn't he?
And went back up, which is another point. I don't think it's his dad.
Went back down on his mama.
I think it's fucking Santa.
Okay, it was fucking Santa for sure. But yeah, so he goes and he murders Frank in his bed with like a tree decoration. Probably, I think the star topper.
It was a star.
Tree. Yeah.
Which we don't have a star for our tree.
No, we're gonna talk about that, Lance. I got a topper for the tree. Don't worry.
Okay. Sorry.
But
Tricia.
the best is that Frank's like, "What are you doing here?" And then he just murders the
Yeah,
shit.
come on, because he
Him.
tries to suffocate him at first.
Yeah, at first he tries to suffocate him, but that didn't work,
Yeah.
so he just stabs the shit out of him. Did he kill the wife or did he leave the wife?
No,
I think he
because
left
the wife.
her sleeping. She never even woke up. It
No,
was
the
weird.
wife woke up because this is one of the oddest reactions in the film. Because he falls, the husband falls over dead onto the wife, and the wife's just laying there, and she's awake, but she's just going.
Oh, that's right. She couldn't
Right,
scream.
It was like a long.
She had the
Yeah.
I'm in shock, can't scream.
Yeah.
thing. So the kids like come out, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, kids," covered in blood, and
them
so
some
he gives them
presents.
gives them some toys for the kids. Says, "Oh, I killed your dad, but here's some toys."
Yeah, really.
Happy.
Here's some really crappy plastic figurines.
Oh man. So then like it's slowly getting Christmas morning. He's not looking so good. You can tell he's been drinking or just fucking around. His suit's all dirty and gross, and so he goes to the Jolly Dreams factory again and turns on the assembly lines.
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for something to happen, but yeah, no, he just turned it on. But then he goes ape shit and he starts breaking all the toys because he considers all the toys to be subpar. But guess what? We did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did too. So I was kind of with him on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he finally, I think the alarm goes off or whatever. So he gets into his van and he peels off. Is this where he like gets stuck in the snow? Yeah, gets stuck in the snow because he's running out of the van, right? Because there's a point where he dives in the woods, but you can see the white blanket that was supposed to be the snow like pull up.
Yeah.
God, yes. He was like wrapped in the
We were
blanket of
laughing
snow.
so hard because it was supposed to be snow, but we found out real quick it was just a blanket that looked like snow. So freaking funny.
How much of a budget this film have again?
$850,000.
Well spent.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but so his van gets stuck in the snow on this beautifully decorated street with plenty of lights. So this is the one that I was talking about. It had like hundreds of like lit up plastic statues of Santa on a sleigh and like snowmans and stuff like that. And this just puts him even further into a delusional state.
I read a review earlier that said that they thought this scene was great and that it didn't seem like something coming out of a low budget horror film, but a like sci-fi Spielberg film.
Yeah, I can see that. It was an interesting scene. It was weird. One thing I was trying to figure out is that I think that the neighborhood he was at was where his old house was.
Yeah, I mean, it may have been
Because he looked up at that main house, and it vaguely reminded me of his house from the 40s where he lived in. And I think all of that kind of triggered everything. And if I could find out 100%, that would play that scene a little bit better.
Isn't this where the townspeople started noticing?
Oh yeah,
him, too?
oh yeah.
I
At
think
this,
we forgot that
oh
part.
yeah, because he's covered in
Yeah,
blood.
because they're chasing him.
Yeah, at this point, this is when the residents shortly recognize him because it's been on the news. Weird mustache dude. We didn't even talk about weird mustache reporter.
Oh
guy.
yeah, who's supposed to be Geraldo Rivera?
Yeah, I guess. It's supposed
You
to
could
look like...
you could tell that's supposed to be Geraldo Rivera.
Oh my God, this dude and his mustache was something else. There was a Santa murder last night outside of
It was.
outside of St. John's Catholic Church, and then Frank so-and-so murdered blah 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 blah, and they say that he was dressed in a Santa suit. And so at this point, people are looking for, well, here he is covered in blood. So the residents of this neighborhood where he's at recognize him, and these motherfuckers go get torches. Legit.
Listen.
This is
when
the
this
classic Frankenstein
happened.
scene.
Yes. When this happened, I was like, this is officially one of my favorite Christmas films of all time.
I looked over at Tricia. I was like, they got torch making materials ready to go. Where are the pitchforks?
They were prepared. Like,
oh my!
I mean, they have a montage of them making torches.
It was
sticks. Like
soaking them.
That was another turning point for me. I was like, oh, this is gonna have an homage to freaking Frankenstein.
It was amazing.
Oh man, I was like, oh, you got me.
And so they did. So they're chasing his ass through the city with torches and essentially pitchforks, and they pursue him. And at one point, they trap him in a corner. But there's kids that are over there, which, by the way, this would have been the perfect moment for Susie to show up.
Yes.
When I first saw the blonde little girl that was there, I thought that was Susie.
Yeah.
Just a random girl.
I did too.
And like at first he like grabs her and you're like, is he going to try to cut her? What's he going to do?
Yeah,
but then she decides to believe that he is Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what happens?
Yeah. And the kids, remember, they all kind of surround him.
Yeah, they surround him and protect him for him to get away.
God, this is such.
Because the dad is like.
The dad was a douchebag.
Yeah, and so they were protecting him against the dad that had a knife.
Yeah, he had a knife and plus, switchblade.
Yeah.
Well, how's he a douchebag? He's just trying to protect the kids.
He was basically like, "Yo, get over here! I'm gonna whoop your ass." I mean,
he was mean, and then like the Santa like experienced that fear from the kids, I think. So he wanted to protect them.
Yep, because he's all about the kids, man.
He is.
Yep. So, but they help him get away, and so where does he go when he breaks his van free of the ice? He goes to Phil's house. And he knocks on the door. Phil opens the door, and he's not even surprised.
He already knows.
He's known his brother's been fucked up for years and years and years and years. But this was just, here's the proof that I needed. And so he knew that something was seriously wrong with his brother. But Harry is the one that ends up confronting Phil. Yes. Like they get into a fight, but it really turns out Harry's like, no, motherfucker. He's like, you're the reason that there was childhood trauma, because Phil was the one that told him that Santa was actually their father. And this is where it said in there that it was the dad and not really Santa. So Phil quickly realizes, which he should have as soon as the door opened, but at this point he realizes, oh my God, because the news is on in the background, oh my God, my brother is the Santa that's killing everyone, and begins to get
he gets angry. He gets really pissed off because he's just so upset that he was murdering these people.
Yeah.
So he gets angry. And he takes it out on him, and he starts choking the shit out of him.
So he goes crazy and chokes Harry. Like, so all of a sudden, apparently this runs in the family. I mean, he chokes the shit out of his brother.
That threw me for a loop. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't think the movie was going to go out that way.
And then he drags his brother through the house. I thought he was dead.
Me
At
too.
this point, I thought he was dead.
I didn't.
He drags
Come on,
him.
you've seen as many slasher films as I
know,
have.
but I was saying, well, I thought they were going to play him being dead. But he drags him and puts him in the damn van. In the driver's seat, and obviously must have gone out to call the cops, trying to figure out a way, but like totally just drags his fucking brother. Like, I was waiting for him to like set the van on fire and kill his,
the wife was cool with it. Like, she didn't say nothing.
The wife was just like,
She just didn't say nothing. I'd be like, dude, you have went over the
She's
edge.
just like, you are my man. I love to see you using those hands.
Weird.
Stand by your man.
I need you to choke me, baby.
Yeah, she didn't say
Oh, God.
She didn't say shit, man.
I want you to choke me.
But he loads him into the front of the van, but he's piddle dicking around is essentially what's happening. And at this point, you're like, Harry's gonna wake up. Harry wakes up. Straight
punches
him
him.
from the van window in the funniest, most rocky moment. Just cold cocks his brother and knocks his ass out and peels off, man. And this is
I think he should have killed him. I think it should have been not a punch. I think it should have been like,
should have killed
pulls
his brother.
the axe out and Yeah.
Yeah,
Because if
been
he
like-
blames all of his shit on him,
meaning he's the most naughty of them all. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think he probably could.
Yeah.
And who knows? They could have written 100 endings because this ending
was not.
to me says it was not the original ending. There's just something in it. I don't have any proof of that. But yeah, so like Harry gets into his van, the mob is chasing him, the cops are chasing him, everybody's chasing his ass, and this motherfucker drives to a bridge where you can see that it's like ends, it's like a broken bridge, and you're like, he flies off the bridge and you're like, well, he's dead.
Right.
But then all of a sudden
With
the van
magic.
Christmas music starts playing and the van just lifts up and flies past the moon like fucking
what's
E.T.
What's that famous poem? Do not go soft into that long good night.
Yeah. And he just reads the last couple lines of a night before Christmas.
Man.
And it's the most beautiful ending
of all.
But I feel like that's in his delusion, like in his head. Like I think he's actually going down.
Here's what I'll say. If Lance is
it.
correct, if Santa was indeed Santa at the beginning of the movie, it implies that Christmas magic is real. And therefore, Harry did become Santa at the very end, like Tim, what's his name in the Santa Claus? Tim Allen.
Yeah. Well, see, and I kept thinking of, I know I've called this a lot of things, like the dark version of, I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But have you all ever seen an episode of The Twilight Zone that's called, I believe it's called Night of the Meek?
Probably.
I mean,
it's their big Christmas episode.
Is it a black and white one or an 80s
yeah,
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't remember. It's about a drunken, department store Santa Claus who, besides being a drunk, he's fine. Like he takes his role as Santa seriously and whatnot. And he gets this magic bag and pulls out all of these, whatever anybody wants or whatever. And by the end of it, he becomes Santa Claus.
Oh, I do
have
know
you
what
seen
you're
that?
talking about. I have seen that, yeah.
So yeah, maybe.
And I thought, honestly, I believe that whoever wrote this or the director, whatever, I think they saw that and they just wanted to make, like, I guess
maybe
a
Lewis
horror version of that.
Lewis Jackson is the director here. He was also the writer of the film. I can't even click on his name, which tells me that he probably didn't do much else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, I like it because it leaves you wondering. It's one of those, which was a very classic trope of that time, to leave you wondering. Let me see if this guy has directed anything else. He directed a movie called The Transformation: A Sandwich of Nightmares in 1974.
We gotta watch that. We gotta watch that.
Yeah, for real.
He has a thing for sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Tarantino has a thing for feet.
Yeah. I don't know. There's nothing else about this guy. I mean, it doesn't say like if he's dead or alive or what or whatever. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, this was filmed. Interestingly enough, it was filmed at the end of 1979 in December, October, November, December, because they were expecting to have snow, which was one of the big reasons why they did it. And it was filmed in New Jersey, all over New Jersey. But yeah, they didn't have snow, so they ended up having to pay for snow. But they finished in February 1980. They wrapped on that. We talked about it actually on Rotten Tomatoes has an approval rating of 83%.
Oh my
God. With only 6 reviews.
With only 6 reviews, but still.
Yeah.
AllMovie gave it a positive review. Time Out gave it a score of 4 out of 5. It says that Tom Huddleston said, in contrast to most slasher flicks, this isn't about anything as simple as revenge. Jackson's concerns are bigger: social responsibility, personal morality, and the gaping gulf between society's stated aims at Christmas time: charity, hope, and goodwill to men. So this is very interesting. There is apparently Troma picked it up, and there is a director's cut somewhere. I wasn't able to find it.
Really? Because I think, I don't know. I think you can find it on Amazon, because when I was searching for this, I watched it like you all did on Shudder. But there's also a version you can buy, and I'm pretty sure it's a director's cut.
Yeah, there is. But I meant kind of easily free to stream. You can also buy it on DVD. Came out in 2014 on Blu-ray, stuff like that. So,
I'd love to see a director's cut of it.
Oh yeah, I want to see what else is in there as well. But yeah, that's essentially Christmas Evil. Brandon Maggart. This is just this motherfucker should have won an Oscar.
Yeah.
He did do well.
I
enjoyed it.
Great. So what was your in the movie? I would say, tell me your favorite moment and your favorite kill.
My favorite moment was when he put the beard on and was yanking it, and he started doing that crazy laugh where he realized, oh my God, I'm Santa.
Yeah, that was a really good scene. It was.
Yeah, my favorite moment was Moss screaming, "I want a subscription to Penthouse."
Oh my God, that was funny.
Man, both of those.
I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
My favorite kill, it was the hatchet. And I was like, does he have a damn little toy hatchet that he is chopping this guy with right now?
Yep,
like,
a little tiny toy tomahawk hatchet.
Yes.
What did you have a favorite moment?
Yeah, mine was probably because there's so many great moments in this epic. Mine is probably man, that whole homage to Frankenstein, man. I literally, when that movie did that, when the movie did show that, I was just like, okay, you got me.
Yeah.
I'm in love with you now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. My favorite kill has to be the eyeball explosion.
Oh.
That was just because I was expecting him to beat the guy over the head with this thing, and it turns out to be a tiny little sword.
I don't think honestly, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a hindrance or anything like that, but I didn't think the movie really had any good kills.
Well, it wasn't kill centric. I mean, in fact, there's only four people that died.
Yeah,
because you got the three people outside of the church, and then Frank.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with you. Just like I said, because the movie, I guess I kind of gotten into the emotion, through the motions of it. Like, I just thought, okay, well, this is more of a psychological thing, and you know, I was just kind of starting to get comfortable, and then he fucking pokes a motherfucker's eye out with toy soldier, and like I said, I literally said, "Oh shit!" And I have not a film probably in general hasn't done that to me in a long time, so I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. I did see that there is another movie called You Better Watch Out that I saw on Amazon or whatever. I don't know if it's a remake or anything like that, because I don't see anything about remakes. But regardless, so totally check out this movie, Christmas Evil from 1980.
Definitely.
You can stream it on Shudder. You can also rent it or buy it on Amazon Prime digitally, or just go to Amazon and get the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get out of here because we got things to do.
We do.
Tricia, grab him. Strap the little bastard down, won't you?
You got it. You stay still, you little troll.
Tricia, Stefan, this wasn't funny when we were kids, and this isn't funny now. There's no way I'm going to let you adore that gaudy monstrosity with my hand.
I don't think you have much of a choice, seeing as now you're all tied up at the moment.
Good one, bro. Now let's light his ass up.
Yeah!
Stefan!
Oh, but before we go, dear friends, I'll leave you with this. Christmas is not so much about opening presents as opening our hearts. Good night.
Good night.